Hi guys, just a follow-on from what we did yesterday talking about blogs. Zach asked me if I could find a way to take these blogs and turn them into a gradable assignment. It's easy to get the kids to sit down and create a blog, and you now have an idea of how to create a blog on your own. But if you want to turn to a gradable assignment, collecting the web address of every blogger or blogspot.com URL is going to be a bit of a nightmare. So I wanted to try and find a tool that would automate it for you. So what we want to do is find a way to grade 60 or 70 different blogs. The way we're going to do this, we're going to use a Google form. The Google form is going to collect the student blog URLs, and then we're going to grade from one central spreadsheet. So before we even get there, what is a Google form and what does it do? I've got an example of a Google form that I've been using over here for the grade 8s. It asks them some questions about revs per minute. So a Google form is really just, for sake of the better word, it actually is a form where you put in information just like you would with a normal paper form. You fill in the information, except when you submit it. It doesn't go to a photocopy machine, it gets sent to your Google spreadsheet. So looking at this Google form that we use for the grade 8 over here, it collects their first name, their surname, their class that we're in, and then I ask them 3 or 4 different questions. Once they've finished answering the questions, they click submit. Now that information is collected on one central spreadsheet. The spreadsheet looks something like this. Each one of our questions that I asked them is a separate column, and the spreadsheet collects each one of those pieces of information in a separate row, so that I can come back later and see who filled out the form, what sort of answers they put in, and the username just in case they forget to put in their name, although those questions are required and they wouldn't be able to fill out the form without putting it in. So we're going to use our own form in order to collect the information about our blogs so we can grade from one central spreadsheet. Right, so we have an idea of what a form looks like. We need to know how to be able to create one. I'm going to start in our drive so we can start creating our form there. We're going to click create, head down to form over here. It's going to open a blank form for us. We're going to put our information over here. First thing I want to know is what's the name of the form? Let's call it blog info collector. Right, I'm just going to select that default theme for it, and I'm going to click OK. Right, so it creates my blank blog form for me. There's a couple of settings that I want to fill in first. The first one is require St. Peter's login, college login to view this form. Yeah, definitely. It's only going to be used by people from the college. I do automatically want to collect respondents' usernames, just in case I forget to fill in the username. I'm not going to show a progress bar at the bottom of the page, as that's usually for multiple forms. The first question I want to ask them is, what's your full name? Just so I can collect their names. They have to answer this question, so we're going to make it a required question. Just scroll on so you can see required question over there. Okay, we don't need any help text. It's not a multiple text, it's not a paragraph, we're just going to make it a text. Right, so that's our first question. Clicking on the view live form here, you'll be able to see what your form looks like straight away and what it'll look like when the kids come to fill out it. You can see we only have one question right now. They can submit that question and it'll collect it in your spreadsheet. So I'm going to put in one more question. I need to know, secondly, I click on the duplicate question over here, right? What is the address of your blog? Right, I am going to put in some help text here. I'm going to put question mark blogspot.com, because all of the blogs have that afterwards. That'll give them a little hint as to what they put in there. It is a required question. They can't submit it without filling it. Right, and I am going to update the view the live form so I can have a look at what it looks like. Great. Here's my blog information collector form. It's got my full name, it's got my address on. Right, pretty happy with it. I'm going to close one or two windows over here. Right, close the editing window. Right, now the next thing I want to do is check where are these answers all going to go. I need to make sure that I'm going to be able to see the response destination and be able to pick up the answers for each of the answers that my respondents go to the form and fill out. So I'm going to hit responses over here. I'm going to choose response destination, right? I'm going to create a new spreadsheet just for blog information collectors. Right? Create, by default it'll put it in my root drive of my Google Drive. Okay, right, and I can click over here, view responses. Right, so I can see that it's going to give me a timestamp when somebody fills it out, username, just in case they don't have their full name properly or incorrectly spelled. And then what's the address? Let's stretch it out a little because they're going to be putting a long address in there. Okay, right, so that's pretty much, I've now set up my form. I'm going to tell each kid who has a blog to copy their address, Control C, and they must fill out the blog form. They must fill out the blog live form, right, which is over here, right. So each one of them have to fill it out. They have to place their blog spot into here, right. They have to fill their full name in here. Okay, right, blogs. Once they're happy, okay, I'm not going to worry about sending me a copy. That's the person filling out. Submit. Okay, each one of them is going to have to fill out that blog response. They can submit it multiple times because we're not worried about them having answers on there. And each response that I get in that is going to be captured in my spreadsheet over here. And then I can have a look. Oh, there's the blog. I can put in a mark over here in the final column and arrange it how I want. I can give them a 9 out of 10, or let's say a 9 out of 15. And as it goes, I can just put down each mark as it goes down the spreadsheet, right? So how do I actually get this form to them now? Once they're done their blog, I need to be able to have a way to share this form with them. So that's the last setting we need to sort out. We need to be able to send form. So easiest way is to send it to the group you're working with. You're working with grade 11s. Right, you put a grade 11 at St. Peter's College.co.za. Right, okay. You can include the form in an email, which means it takes the form and puts it into email. It makes it a hell of a lot easier for your students to fill out. You go straight to their phone and they can fill it out straight from their phone. But if you've got images on your form, it's something you want to avoid because the images don't really resize nicely. They don't really work on a form that goes to a phone. But for the moment, I'm going to leave that question embedded in the email so they can answer it straight away. Or you could take that off and say, well, I want them to go to their email, get the link, open the form online, and take it from there. Right, I'm not really going to send it to grade 11. I'm just going to send it to myself. Okay. All right, so send to myself. I'm not going to include the form. Right, I'm not going to put a subject. Not going to put a message in. Okay, and right, let's send it off. Right, so I've now shared my form, and I could have shared it with the group, or I could have shared it with a specific class, grade 8 AMO, and only they would have been able to get it. So let's have a look at what it looks like in my inbox. Right. Now we can see there's the form that's come in. It's just going to be able to open the email for me. Open my inbox. There we go. Okay, uploading my mail. Right, it says, I invite you to fill out the blog information collector. Each one of the students you shared with would get one of these links, and they'd have to click on the link. The link would open the blog. They'd fill in the username, Joe2, put in their blog spot, their URL address, and click submit. Right. Done, great. Later on you can go to the spreadsheet, have a look at what they filled in, give them a grade, and move on from there. That way you can use your Google form to collect all the URLs for all your blogs, throw the mark in, arrange it according to classes if you'd like, put an extra question for classes. I hope that gives you a bit of a tool that you can use to put your blogs into one place and mark them from there. Great, cheers.